Hello, Sarah, Heather, Paulina, Mawish, Anna, Denise, Nicole, Lukeisha, Brianna, Rebecca, Jennifer, Yvette, and Stacy. Thank you for another week of great discussion as we analyzed perceived benefit and costs. A lot of really great examples, everything from Yvette's example of manicures and pedicures, something that I have to admit I really don't know very much about, but that whole discussion about how it's the end result, it's the experience, and how does the service stand up to time? How well does it last? That's really what matters, and that sometimes does not have a direct relationship to cost. Sometimes the more expensive place does not provide the better service. And so the perceived benefit that one might get of going to an expensive place doesn't really justify the cost, but you need to kind of shop around. The discussion about children's clothing, do we go with the brand names? Do we stick with Carter's, or do we go and get the cheaper things at Walmart? And again, it's about the perceived benefit. When the kids are really tiny and they're going through those clothes like that and they're messing them up all the time and they're not going to last and they're not going to be in those clothes very long, sometimes it seems like, well, the perceived benefit of the more expensive, nicer, more durable item benefit doesn't seem to be there. However, that benefit might be there if you are able to pass on those high quality pieces of children clothing on to other friends or other relatives and continue their use and not just use them for your kid and then they're gone. So it's a complicated discussion, and many factors come into play depending what the product or service is. The whole discussion that Anna had about, and several others of you had about movies. You go to see Toy Story 4 at the theater, and it's not really just about the movie itself. Right? It's not just about, oh, well, we really needed to see this now, but it's the whole experience of going to the movies. It's doing it together as a family. I mean, it matters that the movie is good. That's a piece of it, but it's only a piece of it. That you wouldn't pay all that money to watch the movie at home, but it's going to the theater and having the experience of the popcorn and doing something as a family that makes it worth it. That perceived benefit of family experience makes it worth the cost of spending the extra money and not just waiting for it to come out on Netflix. And similarly, the discussion that you started, Denise, about restaurants, where yes, it does. Clearly, it matters if the food is good. That matters a lot. And if the food comes out and it's not good or it's not the right temperature, that's probably a deal breaker. But that's not the whole story. The level of service, the attentiveness of the service, the experience that one has in the restaurant, that even if the food is good, even if it comes out at the right temperature and it tastes good, if the service is terrible, that's probably not going to be at the top of the list for places to go back. You might give it another chance, but it's not going to be the place that you rave about to your friends. So thank you for pointing out that it's this in a lot of services, it's the combination of the good and the experience that comes into our analysis of what the perceived benefit is. And so that was I thought that was a really great discussion. A lot of other great examples in there. The organic food, is it worth buying the organic food? Paulina says it's worth buying the organic food because you end up being healthier, you end up living longer, you end up having less problems with down the road because you ingested all those because with organic food you don't ingest all those chemicals. It's that's a huge benefit. And if we can see that benefit, then it's going to be worth it to pay the extra cost for the organics. I wanted to talk a little bit too, not just about the discussion forum, which again was a great job, and I appreciate all your contributions, but we didn't really talk about much that was in the module. And if you didn't get a chance to watch some of those videos, I would encourage you to do so. The manufacturing video and the video about the orange juice were fascinating. You know, it's amazing what machinery there is in the orange juice production business. These huge $1 million machines that go into the orange groves and shake the oranges off the tree and can move 2 tons of oranges in an hour. It's if you haven't watched that video, it's probably worth your time. But even more than that, I think, are the 2 videos about Walgreens, the Walgreens Distribution Center. That's the story of how Walgreens has created a distribution center that is friendly to people with physical and mental disabilities and gives people with physical and mental disabilities jobs alongside people who do not have disabilities. And the distribution center is one of the best in the world. It functions extremely well. The automation seamlessly works with the employees to move the products at a fantastic rate. And the morale there is so high that the turnover is less than it is in other similar organizations. And the man behind this was somebody who has an autistic son, and it was his idea to say, you know, I've seen people with disabilities make contributions. I know that they have the ability to do this. How can we structure our distribution center to give people a chance to really thrive, and not only to thrive, but to make a contribution and make the business better than it was before. If you need a feel-good story, I would really recommend taking the 10 minutes or so to watch those 2 videos. It's really good stuff, and it really fits in with our course on operations management, because it's this vice president thinking, how can I make this work even better? And I know that these people who have disabilities are an untapped resource. Can we work together with them to make our distribution center even better? He was thinking outside what normal distribution center managers thought about. He was thinking in a new way, and because he thought in a new way, he was an incredible benefit to so many people, and also to the bottom line of his business. So really kind of a neat story. If there's any way that I can be helpful to you, please reach out, and I hope that you are enjoying our time together as much as I am. Thanks.